Welcome back to the channel. It has been a little while since I've done an update, but we have to get the car painted this episode because we are running out of time. The deadline is February 5th, 2025, and we're coming up to December. So I can't wait to show you guys the color. Let's get straight into it. All right, so I'm masking up some areas where we've put on some filler so that we can put some high fill back on it. And I've never really done any masking, so you can see it's a bit of a dodgy job, but I'm getting better at it. So we've also got Jack in the shed with us today, so he's giving me a hand doing some filming as well, so that's always great. He's been helping me with the bonnet. You can go run everyone through what you've been doing.
Hi guys, Jack Schneider here. Haven't really been in many videos, but when I do, I think I've done a pretty good job of what I've done. Yeah. So today I have been working on Tate's bonnet underneath, because it was just all yellow and we just stripped it. So now I'm doing all the, what's it called?
So he's been helping sand all of the areas with the orbital sander. He's getting off all the yellow edges that have been missed, so he's been giving us a hand with that, which is great.
Yep.
And yeah, Dad's in the booth right now getting the inner guards ready. In the last episode, I was doing them with filler to get them all shaved. So right now we're getting them ready for high fill as well. I'm turning 18 in 70 days. What's the date? He's currently November 27th, 2024.
Yep.
I've got 70 days till I'm 18.
So yeah.
And the plan is to have this car finished before then. We just bare metaled the bonnet. Now, I never thought that I would see the day that this thing would be fully bare metaled because it was just caked on in that yellow stuff. And I remember we started working on it ages ago. We finally got it done. It was a fair bit of effort, but it just looks unreal. While I've been doing this, Dad has been working on getting the inner door jambs looking mint, getting them all nice and smooth. And yeah, they're looking pretty good at the moment. But this car has been kind of pushed down into the back corner and neglected. You can see she's kind of just covered in dust. Kind of feel bad for the old girl, but we're getting some progress back on it. We've just finished doing some rust converter along the bonnet, and now we're gonna get an epoxy. The bonnet is finally in epoxy and finished. And Dad,
yo,
that is the last thing we ever have to epoxy.
Yeah, it's exciting.
How good's that? Last thing we have to do, and
Now he's got to
finished. Now I gotta paint it, and that is the exciting part.
The next step was to get everything in guide coat. Now we want to make sure with the guide coat to find any little imperfections, any scratches, any low spots that are still within the bodywork, and we've been doing this through all the stages of sanding that we have done. Using the guide coat is the most effective way to get that right. Now I have to say, massive shout out to my old man, because he has spent hours upon hours working on this body. It means a lot to me to have him paint it, because we've done this car start to finish. And let me tell you, this thing is never getting sold.
Tonight has been a whole lot of sanding. Dad, what have you been working on?
We've guide coated after 320, buzzing it down with 400, get the scratches out, and we'll go to 600.
I've been working on getting the bonnet all sanded after Dad got in epoxy the other night, and I've almost finished sanding that. And then Dad's just given me one of the inner guards to start sanding again. So, but I think this is one of the things that not many people see when you're doing work. Like, from you being a painter, like I expected a paint job to just be your painter.
It's all the prep work, mate. This is all the time and effort goes into this to make the paint look good.
100%. So that is why it has been so long to get this video pumped out for you guys, because it has been a whole lot of sanding. And there's still a lot more to do before we can get it painted. Still a lot more sanding.
A lot more late nights.
But anyway, we're going to get there. And another thing I want to say is, a couple of days ago, we went to the golf, the Oz Open. And the funniest thing happened. I had a guy run into me and he said, "I'll watch you on YouTube." And it made my day. I was stoked. Yeah, Dan. So shout out to Dan for stopping me and saying hi. If any of you do see me in public, feel free to come and say hi. I love speaking to you all.
I finished off doing the inner guards after Dad had done the high fill and sanded them all back nice and smooth. And once I'd finished doing it underneath the bonnet, all that was left to do was get it in the booth, mask it up, and get ready to spray some colour.
I'm so excited. We are getting ready to lay some proper colour on some parts. Underneath the bonnet is all prepped, ready to go. Inner guards are all ready to go. And I think it's time that we show you guys the colour. So let's go mix it up and let me show you. Picking a color has got to be the hardest thing to do on a car, especially when you're not going back to an original color. As soon as I saw this on a different car in person, I knew it had to be this color. So let's show you guys what we picked. Oh. How good is that? So the color is HT Monza Blue. It is a factory GM color, came out on the Monaros, and oh, it looks so good in the sun. It's definitely gonna match the wheels and all the chrome that's gonna be on it, so I can't wait to see it on some parts.
So Dad started cleaning everything, ready to go. This was so exciting to finally see stuff getting ready for paint. We got it into wet on wet primer, and while Dad was doing all this, Tony and I started dismantling the tonner so that we could get all that ready, because we still needed to access the firewall to do the filler work on that. Once the wet on wet primer was finished, the next thing to do was the ground coat. So this was just a mixture of blue that we made up, and obviously it doesn't look very different, but the Monza Blue was laid, and trust me, once you see it with the clear,
Dad has just finished doing 3 coats of paint and then 2 coats of clear. Let's have a look at how it turned out. So excited. I'm absolutely wrapped with how it turned out. Now it is just time to get all of this painted. So we're gonna call that a night for tonight. I'm so happy with how this color is looking.
Oh, hey guys, didn't see you there. Just like to say a few words about the HQ1TN, which that stands for HQ1 Tonner. If you don't know, you know. 1972 HQ1 Tonner. Gotta love this thing. Recently we have painted a few things. We have painted the inner guards, and we have painted the under the hood, the bonnet, same thing.
Now I've got to do a quick repair on this vent, and it is actually in really, really good nick. There's just unfortunately a little bit of rust through this bottom section, which is quite normal for this piece. But yeah, the pitting is pretty bad through there. So lucky enough, had a spare set of these that also sit along the scuttle, and they are the perfect shape and bend to slot straight back in there. So I'm going to cut the rusted section out and bang these straight in. Just finished welding in those 2 little rust repairs that I've done. It made me realize how much I actually miss doing the welding and the fabrication stage, because it has been a little while since I've done any welding. I've said it before, my favorite part is that you can muck up welding and just add material and cut it back, and it's fun to work with. I love it.
The next thing was to strip the cab completely down so we could access the firewall. While the guards and the doors were off, I got them all prepped up and ready. We did some filler work on the firewall, and then we got everything into high fill primer.
Now that the firewall and the door jambs are all in high fill primer, that's the last thing we need to do, and we need to sand them back. Let's smash this out. We are back working on the tonner, and today is the day. I've just been in from work. Dad and Tony have been in this morning, getting some stuff done, ready for today, and I came straight in from work. The whole day I was working, I was just itching to get back and work on this car. So finally here, it just feels so surreal. I can't really believe that this is actually happening. But as I'm sure most of you guys know, paint has got to be one of the biggest things in the build. Seeing it from primer and, you know, epoxy for so long to then seeing it in color is a massive deal. It is looking so good. The tonner is in the paint booth and it is getting ready to get painted. Now, this is a massive thing, but have one last look before she gets painted, because it is going to be very exciting to not see it in this dull old primer color, because as soon as it's painted, it's just gonna look nice and pretty. So we've got the bonnet all ready to go, door hinges and scuttle piece all ready. So let's get this going.
Well, this has been a long time coming, mate. There was probably times when he's like, we've only got 263 days to go.
Now it's 45 on days. After we got her all masked up, the next step was to get her in wet on wet primer. Then it was time for the most exciting thing, getting colour on the cab. So I'm currently editing the video that you guys are watching right now, and I noticed that I completely forgot to film my reaction of what the car looked like with clear coat on it. That's mainly just because I completely forgot about filming. I was just so distracted on how good the car looked. I just wanted to take it all in, and I did not think twice about filming. I'm so happy with how the car turned out. It looks unreal. It is a massive achievement to get this painted and to have your old man paint it. Like, I'm so lucky that my dad's a spray painter. So yeah, that makes it a lot more special to have him paint it. But now that you guys are all up to date, let's continue on with the video. We're back in the shop and we've just finished unmasking the tonner. The blue looks so good, I'm wrapped. So now that the cab, bonnet and inner guards is all painted up, the next thing to do is the guards have got sitting down the back. We've got to finish off doing the doors and the nose cones. So we've got to get them all sanded, ready for paint. Let's start sanding it all. Now, obviously, sanding isn't the most exciting thing when you're filming on YouTube, and I feel like lots of people, when they're making videos, cut that out of their videos, which is fair enough, because no one wants to watch you sandpaper. But I feel that I should add the sanding that I'm doing, because no one really sees the effort that goes behind all of the little details that you're going through. Like, you know, we've just done this door, and then we're doing little bits of fine filler, and just constantly refining to get it perfect, because everything shows up once it is painted. I could have easily edited out all of the sanding and just had it painted like that, but I want you guys to come along for the ride and see how much is actually involved. Shout out to all those panel beaters and painters that understand all the things that goes behind the scenes. That is all the little details that make a paint job so good. Still stoked that the cab's done. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Dad and Tony were in the shop the other night till very early in the morning, but we got everything painted. So big thanks to them for getting it done. Currently getting all door hinges on and everything, because it is time to start bolting the whole tonner back together. So let's start doing it. We're just bolting it up to get it home. We've still got a lot of stuff to do, but I want to see it as a full car, so that's why we're doing this. We get this car painted. I want to say thank you so much, because I definitely the final piece of the puzzle, nose cones. Best bit. Getting ready to go on. Stoked. It has been a massive journey to get this car painted, and for everyone that helped out, thank you all so much, because I definitely couldn't have done it without you all. The long hours and late nights all pay off when you get a result like this.
So the Tonner is back home safely, and it feels good having it back in the shed. It's nice to just be able to walk downstairs, come see the car, and just look at it and take it all in and enjoy it, you know. I miss not having it in the shed for so long, so it's nice to have it back. The next thing to do on the old girl is to rebuild the engine. So this will be coming up in the next episode, so keep an eye out for that. It has been a bit of a process to get this painted. We're down to 22 days till I'm 18, which is cutting it pretty fine, but I still reckon we can try and get the engine in it by then. So that's what we're still aiming for, to at least try and get it running. That is going to wrap it up for today's episode. I hope you guys like the color as much as I do, because I love it. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers. Shouldn't I?
You bike can go backwards as well. Go backwards, go backwards.
I know, you can put that out.